Welcome back to my channel. Today I will recap a famous movie, The Lion King. The movie opens with a beautiful scene, where all the animals gather around a happiness rock. Here, the Lion King Mufasa performs a ceremony to honor Simba, the lion cub, who will inherit the throne of all animals. A monkey lifts Simba up, making all the animals bow their heads in respect. Meanwhile, an ugly lion named Scar, Mufasa's younger brother, is in a cave. Mufasa asks why he didn't come to the ceremony. Scar says he forgot, not meaning to be disrespectful. However, he really wanted his brother's throne. He rebelled and was banished to a remote cave. Mufasa surpasses Scar in both strength and intelligence. However, Mufasa still loves he, because to Mufasa, he is always his younger brother, and that will never change. On a large tree, the monkey prophesied that Simba would grow up to be a great king, ruling over all the animals. At the Happiness Rock, the lion cub Simba woke his father up. Then, Mufasa took his son for a walk. He danced excitedly and asked what his father would do, like lead the pack to hunt or chase away bad guys. Mufasa quietly climbed a tall rock, roared loudly, and told Simba that wherever there was light, their kingdom would be. He explained that a king's reign was like the cycle of the sun. It would set and rise. Mufasa's sun would set, and Simba's sun would reign. Simba asked in surprise if this place would belong to him. Mufasa calmly replied that no, this place does not belong to anyone but to he to protect. This is a very big responsibility. Being a true king is not about doing whatever you want or occupying a place, but about knowing how to give everything away. Mufasa reminds Simba not to go into the dark area behind the mountains. In nature, everything has a balance, and as a king, Simba must understand this. Although they eat antelopes, when they die, their bodies will turn into plants, and the antelopes will eat those plants. All species are connected in the great circle of life. Besides, Simba is also very happy to be taught how to hunt by his father. While they are playing, Mufasa hears that hyenas are invading their territory, so he calls Simba home. At home, Simba starts practicing hunting with a beetle. There, he meets Uncle Scar, who teaches Simba how to stand in the wind. When Simba says that he will become king and gives Uncle orders, Scar reveals information about the dark area, making he curious. Scar secretly plots evil plans that no one knows about. Simba returns home and invites Nala to go for a walk at the lake. Simba's mother sends Zazu the hornbill follow to watch over them. Zazu does not let Simba and Nala go too far. Zazu also talks about the two lions getting married, but because they are young, they just want to play and do not understand anything about marriage. Later, Simba and Nala work together to distract Zazu and enter a dark area, called the Elephant Graveyard. This area smells of death. The hyenas hear their voices and start gathering to hunt. The two hyenas politely invite Simba and Nala to stay for dinner, showing that they prefer to use team hunting tactics. In the darkness, a voice is heard, saying that it has been waiting for this meal for a long time, and is quite surprised that the king's son has come to visit. The voice belongs to Shinsi, the queen of the dark land. Zazu appears and advises Shinsi to spare Simba and Nala, but Shinsi wants to fight King Mufasa. Simba and Nala try to escape but fail. When they are about to become a meal for the hyenas, King Mufasa appears. The hyenas, despite their numbers, are still very afraid of he. He warns Shinsi not to go near his son, and then leads Simba and Nala back to the cave. Mufasa orders Zazu to take Nala go, because he wants to teach his son a lesson. Then, Simba approached his father. He follows in his father's footsteps, and he feels so small. Mufasa tells Simba that he disobeyed and almost got into danger, which not only affects him, but also Nala and the future of the pack. Simba says that he just wants to show courage like father. That day, Mufasa is very worried because he thinks he has lost his son. The father later and son have a happy time together. Mufasa tells him stories from his childhood that his grandfather told. The past kings are always watching they from the sky. If he feel lonely, the kings will show you the way, and Mufasa will always be by your side. That same night, Scar, the traitor to the royal family, comes to the hyenas. He discusses the benefits of becoming king and wants the hyenas to support him. He criticizes his brother Mufasa and thinks that Mufasa is useless and outdated, while claiming that he is a man of vision and passion. Scar longed for the glory and waited for the right moment, and the hyenas were waiting for a rich source of food. The next morning, Scar took his nephew, Simba, to a strange mountain. Scar told him that this was where the king had practiced making the rumbles that terrified the animals. Simba was delighted and thought that his father would be proud of him. He was naive to not know that this was about to become a plot. He would probably never forget this experience. The hyenas drove the buffalo herd into a panic. As Simba looked up, he felt the ground shake. Panicked, he ran away and luckily found a small rock to hide under. Meanwhile, Scar went to inform Mufasa that Simba was in trouble. Mufasa immediately jumped down to save his son. At the same time, he also ordered Zazu to report the news to the lions. Although he saved his son, he was gored by the herd of buffaloes. However, Mufasa still tried to jump up the cliff and climb up. Simba saw his father trying to climb the cliff, so he wanted to try too. For being a lion cub, so Simba did not have enough strength to climb. At this time, Mufasa had climbed to the top of the mountain. Mufasa asked for help his younger brother for help, but was suddenly attacked by led Mufasa fell into the abyss. Simba saw his father fall and cried out in pain. When the buffaloes had run away, he realized that his father was no longer breathing. The pain caused tears to fall from his eyes. He lay next to his father and saw Scar's figure appear. Scar began to blame Simba, said that if it were not for him, Mufasa would not have died. Scar said that Mufasa had placed so much hope in father, but he was the one who caused his death. Scar doesn't want to kill Simba himself, so he ordered him to run far away and never come back. However, Scar was not a gentle person. He even sent hyenas to chase Simba. Realizing the danger, Simba tried his best to escape and jumped off the cliff. 2 hyenas were ordered to find Simba, but seeing the great height, they concluded that he was dead. However, they did not know that Simba was still alive. Simba began to wander aimlessly. At the King's Rock, Scar announced to the lions that Mufasa had passed away, which was a great loss. The loss of his brother made him feel heavy in his heart. When he became king, he led hyenas to the King's Rock. He usurped all the power of Mufasa, and everyone felt miserable. Meanwhile, Simba came to a desert, where he lay down exhausted on the dry land. Without water or food, Simba would probably die here. The vultures thought he was dead, so they intended to eat him. However, a meerkat and a warthog named Timon and Pumbaa came to help Simba. Simba woke up to find 2 benefactors, Timon and Pumbaa, saving his life. However, he still felt that he was the cause of his father's death. Timon and Pumbaa appeared to be very optimistic and cheerful, seemingly not sad at all. Timon advises Simba to let go of the past and focus on the present. They saying, when the world turns its back on turn his back on the world. Another saying that helps they live happily is Hakuna Matata, which means to live comfortably, without worries and at ease. Then, the 3 animals Simba, Timon and Pumbaa go together to the beautiful forest like in fairy tales. Pumbaa and Timon teach Simba how to eat like them. Pumbaa eats a tree stump full of worms, while Timon tells Simba that life is wonderful without rules and responsibilities. Then, Timon gives he a fat, sweet worm and encourages him to eat it. Although it is a bit slimy, it is delicious. Soon, Simba has matured and lives happily, without worries. He does not realize that his homeland is now turned into a dead land. Scar leads the hyenas on a hunt, causing havoc everywhere. Zazu informs Queen Sarabi of the dire situation. Sarabi asks Zazu to be patient, because the time has not come yet. Meanwhile, Scar invites Sarabi Kame for a meal. Sarabi criticizes he for destroying everything, and wants to prove his power as a king who can take everything. Scar tells Sarabi that he was rejected when Sarabi chose Mufasa, and now he wants Sarabi to be his wife, so they can enjoy together. He warns that if she do not follow him, the lions will be attacked by the hyenas first. At night, Pumbaa, Timon, and Simba chat together. Pumbaa is curious about the constellations in the sky, and Timon happily says that they are just fireflies trapped in dark clouds. Simba remembers his father saying that the stars are past kings watching over them, making Pumbaa and Timon laugh loudly. However, this reminded Simba of sad memories. He stood up, went to another place, and looked at the sky. Sadness appeared on Simba's face, the wind blew a strand of his fur, and the fur floated down the river. Fate brought it to the hands of a prophet monkey before, making Monkey very happy. It knows that King Mufasa had a successor. While playing, Pumbaa was suddenly chased by a lion. At this time, Simba appeared to fight the lion. However, Simba lost and realized that it was Nala. The 2 lions Nala and Simba happily cuddled together. Later, Simba introduces Pumbaa and Timon that Nala is his best friend. Simba invited Nala to stay, but she wanted him to return to reclaim his throne, because Scar had usurped power with the hyenas. Nala felt that meeting Simba again had great meaning for both the lions and her. However, Simba does not want to leave this place, because this is his home. Pumbaa and Timon also realize that Nala and Simba are in love. Simba takes Nala for a walk in the forest, they play and lie next to each other. However, Nala emphasizes that the kingdom is in trouble. There is no food, no water, and Simba needs to return to reclaim his birthright and for his mother. But Simba's intentions remain unchanged. He does not want to face the past. Nala feels disappointed that the current Simba is no longer the person she once loved. When Nala leaves, Simba quietly goes deep into the forest. Simba meets the prophet monkey, who tells him that his father, Mufasa, is still alive and can lead him to Mufasa. When he reaches the lake, he sees his father's image within him and feels the responsibility of a true king. Looking up at the stars, he hears his father's voice, telling him how proud he is of him and also said that he will always be his son. When the sun rises, Simba realizes that he will now rebuild his kingdom. He decides to return to the throne with Nala. When he arrives, Simba is met with a scene of desolation, with animal bones and withered plants. Despite the dangers ahead, Nala is unafraid and even smiles. Zazu appears to welcome Simba, the future king, back. At the same time, Pumbaa and Timon also want to help Simba take back the kingdom, because they are friends who live and die together. Pumbaa and Timon act as bait to distract the hyenas. Taking this opportunity, Simba and Nala headed straight to the king's stone snout, but he found his mother, Sarabi, being attacked by Scar. Simba's appearance frightened Scar because he thought Mufasa had returned. Sarabi was happy to see her son again, but Scar still acted insincerely. Nala appeared and called for everyone to stand up against Scar. However, Scar still insisted on choosing violence instead of giving up power. He used harsh words to remind the reason why Mufasa was dead. He forced Simba into a corner of the rock, causing him to almost fall, just like the scene his father had experienced when he was betrayed Scar. At this moment, a lightning appeared, burning the entire king land. Scar admitted that he was the one who killed his brother, Mufasa, admitting that he was a traitor. Simba looked into Scar's eyes and realized all the incident from the past. He could no longer hide the truth. He ordered the hyenas to attack Simba. Hearing this, Sarabi immediately ordered all the lions to join the fight. At that time, the hyenas smelled the fatty pork from Pumbaa. Timon and Pumbaa realized that they had no way back. Pumbaa used his horns to gore the hyenas away. Although the hyenas were quite numerous, they were still afraid of the lions. When they saw Simba return, the lions became excited and determined to fight. Soon, the hyenas and Scar fled. Simba chased he with the intention of revenge. Scar was cornered and begged for his life. He blamed the hyenas for forcing him to do bad things. However, the hyenas heard and realized that Scar had used them just like he did to Simba. Simba did not want to be like Scar, a killer of his own kind. Simba asked he to run far away and never come back. When Simba was caught off guard, he suddenly attacked and declared that this was his kingdom. No one had the right to take it away. But Scar was old and could not fight against a young Simba. He fell into the abyss. Although injured, he still lived. When he met the hyenas again, Scar began to speak seductive words, but the hyenas understood his cunning nature. Shensi appeared and declared that hyenas never knew enough, then led the hyenas to attack Scar. A heavy rain washed away all evil. Simba was worthy of becoming a true king, a protector of the pack and maintaining the fair circle of life. Simba let out a loud roar full of pride. Peace returned to the kingdom, the trees were green, and the animals returned to their previous lives. All the animals gathered around the king's rock to welcome a new life, a future king of this land.